Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive upcoming episodes that promise to shake Port Charles to its very core. The holiday season brings unexpected drama, shocking revelations, and life-changing decisions that will leave fans absolutely breathless. Before we dive into the juicy details, it's important to note that General Hospital will not air new episodes on Thursday, November 27th or Friday, November 28th, due to the Thanksgiving holiday schedule. However, don't worry, the drama picks up with a vengeance when the show returns on Monday, December 1st, 2025. And what awaits viewers is nothing short of spectacular. Willow's wedding day crisis. The most anticipated event in Port Charles is finally here. Willow Tate's wedding day to Drew Kane. However, what should be the happiest day of Willow's life appears to be turning into her worst nightmare. After everything these two have been through, from their passionate affair to the family turmoil it caused, fans expected this wedding to be the culmination of their controversial love story. But recent spoilers suggest that Willow might be having serious second thoughts about becoming Mrs. Drew Kane. The signs are everywhere, and they're impossible to ignore. In the days leading up to the ceremony, something significant happened that could change everything. Nina Reeves, Willow's biological mother and someone she's had an incredibly rocky relationship with, finally extended an olive branch. Thanks to the wise counsel of Lisa Lobrecht, who has always been a voice of reason despite her complicated past, Nina and Willow managed to reconcile. This emotional reunion brought tears, apologies, and a genuine moment of connection between mother and daughter. Nina's heartfelt apology seemed to touch something deep within Willow's heart, reminding her of the family bonds she's been trying to rebuild. However, this reconciliation may have triggered something unexpected in Willow's mind, a realization about what truly matters in life and whether Drew Kane fits into that picture. The preview clips paint a troubling picture of what's to come on the wedding day itself. Drew appears absolutely elated, standing at the altar with a beaming smile, clearly believing that he's about to marry the woman of his dreams. He's confident, composed, and ready to start this new chapter of his life. But the bride tells a completely different story. As Willow begins her walk down the aisle, cameras capture a peculiar expression on her face, and it's definitely not the radiant smile of a happy bride. Instead, her face shows uncertainty, perhaps even dread. Her eyes seem distant, as if she's somewhere else entirely, questioning every step she takes toward her future with Drew. The most explosive moment comes later in the preview when Nina is seen speaking to someone off camera. Her words are urgent and protective. "You can walk out of there right now." The implication is crystal clear. Nina is giving someone permission to leave, to escape, to choose a different path. Could she be speaking to Willow? Has Nina realized that her daughter is about to make a terrible mistake? Or is there another player in this drama that we haven't considered? Perhaps Michael Corinthos, Willow's ex-husband and the father of her children, makes an unexpected appearance to stop the wedding. The tension is unbearable, and the possibility that this wedding might not happen at all is becoming increasingly real. Insiders suggest that what happens next will change multiple lives forever and set up storylines that will carry through the entire winter season. Quartermaine Thanksgiving chaos. Over at the legendary Quartermaine estate, preparations for Thanksgiving dinner are underway. And as with everything involving this iconic family, chaos is guaranteed. Brooklyn Quartermaine, always the practical one, suggested they should just order pizza and call it a day. After all, the Quartermaine family has a well-documented history of kitchen disasters that have become the stuff of soap opera legend. The infamous Quartermaine kitchen curse has struck year after year, turning what should be simple holiday meals into catastrophic disasters involving smoke alarms, ruined turkeys, and even small fires. However, Harrison Chase, Brooklyn's devoted husband, had different ideas. Ever the optimist and eager to prove himself as a capable family man, Chase insisted on helping with the traditional Thanksgiving dinner. He argued that traditions are important, that families should gather around a home-cooked meal, and that perhaps this year would be different. His enthusiasm was infectious, even if his cooking skills remain questionable. After considerable coaxing, and those puppy dog eyes that BLQ can never resist, she reluctantly agreed to let him help in the kitchen. But the question on every fan's mind is whether this Thanksgiving dinner will turn out perfectly, or if the notorious Quartermaine kitchen curse will strike again with vengeance. In one hilarious preview clip, Brooklyn can be seen getting after Chase for always tempting fate. Her exasperation is palpable as she probably realizes that agreeing to this cooking adventure was a mistake. Will Chase prove everyone wrong and deliver a perfect holiday feast? Or will the Quartermaines end up ordering pizza after all, surrounded by smoke and the remnants of their culinary disaster? Given his family's track record, smart money is on chaos, laughter, and a meal that becomes yet another legendary Quartermaine story to tell for years to come. The comedic relief this storyline provides is perfectly timed amidst all the other heavy drama unfolding in Port Charles. Trina's shocking discovery. General Hospital spoilers for the December 1st episode reveal that Trina Robinson is about to be hit with information that will absolutely rock her world. Trina, the intelligent and level-headed young woman who has been through so much already, is in for a shock that she never saw coming. The preview clips show Trina with Kai Taylor, and the atmosphere between them appears tense and charged with emotion. Whatever Kai reveals or does clearly crosses a major line because Trina's reaction is explosive and immediate. In one dramatic moment, Trina is shown absolutely blowing up, her face contorted with anger and disbelief as she demands, "What did you just say?" Her tone is sharp, her body language defensive, and it's clear that whatever she just heard has shaken her to the core. But what could possibly cause such a strong reaction from someone as composed as Trina? Several theories are circulating among die-hard fans who have been analyzing every frame of the previews. The most compelling theory involves Jordan Ashford, Trina's mother figure, and Port Charles Police Commissioner. Spoilers hint that Jordan and Curtis Ashford, Trina's father, share another close moment during this period. These two have been dancing around their feelings for each other, and their undeniable chemistry keeps pulling them back together despite all the obstacles. Could Trina's shock be related to discovering something about her parents' relationship? Perhaps she learns that Jordan and Curtis are getting back together, or worse, that they've been keeping secrets from her. Alternatively, the revelation could involve something far more sinister, perhaps information about a case Jordan is working on, or a danger that threatens their family. Another intriguing possibility is that Kai himself reveals something shocking about his own past or intentions. Maybe he's not who he claims to be, or perhaps he's been keeping a significant secret that changes everything Trina thought she knew about him. The writers have been building tension around this relationship, and a major revelation would fit perfectly into the dramatic arc they've been constructing. Whatever the truth turns out to be, Trina's world is about to be turned upside down, and fans are bracing themselves for the emotional fallout that will inevitably follow. Isaiah's noble sacrifice. In another touching storyline, Isaiah Gannon makes a significant sacrifice that showcases his growing importance to the Port Charles community. Isaiah, the dedicated doctor who has quickly become a fan favorite, demonstrates once again why he's such a valuable addition to the hospital staff and the show itself. Spoilers strongly suggest that Isaiah offers to cover someone's shift at General Hospital so they can spend quality time with their family during the Thanksgiving holiday. The most likely scenario involves Isaiah volunteering to work in place of Portia Robinson, allowing her to enjoy Thanksgiving with her family. Portia has been under tremendous pressure lately, juggling her responsibilities as a doctor, a mother, and someone caught up in various Port Charles dramas. Having the opportunity to step away from the hospital and simply be present with Curtis and Trina for the holiday would be invaluable to her. Isaiah's gesture would not only demonstrate his professional dedication, but also his growing personal connections to the people of Port Charles. This kind of selfless act will surely endear him even more to viewers and potentially set up future storylines that explore his character in greater depth. Perhaps this sacrifice leads to unexpected complications at the hospital, Or maybe it opens the door for Isaiah to form deeper bonds with other characters who witness his generosity. Dangerous revenge plans. Meanwhile, Stella Henry finds herself contemplating revenge, and the spoilers warn that she should be extremely careful about the path she's considering. Stella, usually the voice of reason and wisdom, appears to be letting her emotions get the better of her judgment. Talking about revenge is one thing, but actually pursuing it in Port Charles has a way of backfiring spectacularly. The warning is clear: if Stella isn't careful with her actions and words, she could find herself facing serious consequences, potentially even attempted murder charges. This development is particularly concerning given Port Charles' history of revenge plots going horribly wrong. Who is Stella planning revenge against? And what triggered this uncharacteristic behavior from someone usually so level-headed? The spoilers don't reveal all the details, but the implication is that someone has wronged Stella, or someone she loves deeply enough to push her toward thoughts of retaliation. Perhaps it involves Curtis, or maybe it's connected to the ongoing family drama that has been tearing the Ashford family apart. Whatever the case, fans are hoping that cooler heads prevail before Stella does something she'll regret for the rest of her life. Unexpected visitor. Finally, Giovanni Joe Palmieri receives an unexpected visitor, and this mysterious rival promises to shake up his world in ways he never anticipated. Joe, the talented young musician who has been navigating the complexities of life in Port Charles, is about to have his routine disrupted by someone from his past, or perhaps someone with shocking news about his future. Who could this visitor be? The possibilities are endless and tantalizing. Could it be a family member he hasn't seen in years? A former romantic interest coming back to complicate his current situation? Or perhaps someone with information about his biological parents or his connection to the Quartermaine family? The mystery surrounding this unexpected visitor has fans spinning theories and rewatching old episodes for clues. Whatever happens, this visit will likely have significant implications for Gio's storyline moving forward and could potentially connect to other ongoing plots in Port Charles. The timing of this visit, during the holiday season when emotions run high and families gather together, suggests that the revelation will be particularly impactful and emotionally charged. The upcoming episodes of General Hospital promise to deliver everything fans love about this legendary soap opera romance: betrayal, shocking twists, family drama, and life-changing decisions. From Willow's cold feet at the altar to the Quartermaine Thanksgiving chaos, from Trina's shocking discovery to Isaiah's noble sacrifice, and from Stella's dangerous revenge plans to Gio's mysterious visitor, Port Charles is about to explode with drama that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. NEXT, we will learn about the shocking developments surrounding Professor Henry Dalton's mysterious disappearance and the dangerous web of conspiracy that threatens to destroy Port Charles' most powerful figures. The murder that started it all. The evening that changed everything began in the most unexpected location: Professor Henry Dalton's own living room, where he never imagined his final moments would unfold. Jen Sidwell had arrived with cold calculation in his eyes, but the confrontation escalated far beyond what anyone could have predicted. As Britt Westburn stood frozen in absolute terror, watching the violent scene play out before her very eyes, she became the unwilling witness to a brutal murder that would send shockwaves through the entire Port Charles community. The professor's body crumpled to the floor as Britt's hands trembled uncontrollably, her mind racing with the horrible realization that she had just witnessed a cold-blooded killing. Sidwell's face remained eerily calm, almost mechanical, as he processed what he had just done. The room fell into a suffocating silence, broken only by Britt's shallow, panicked breathing. This wasn't supposed to happen here. Not like this, and certainly not with a witness present. But in the criminal underworld of Port Charles, plans have a way of spiraling out of control, and this particular evening would prove to be the catalyst for a conspiracy that reaches the highest levels of city government. Sidwell's twisted frame-up scheme. What happened next would demonstrate the true depths of Jen Sidwell's criminal genius and his willingness to weaponize tragedy for his own political and financial gain. The crime boss didn't panic when faced with Dalton's lifeless body. Instead, his mind immediately began calculating how to turn this disaster into an opportunity. He had been seething ever since Mayor Laura Collins won the election, crushing his preferred candidate and effectively shutting down his grand scheme to take control of sunny Corinthos' lucrative waterfront piers. The defeat of Measure C had been a particularly bitter pill to swallow, as that legislation would have opened the door for Sidwell to legitimize his criminal operations through seemingly legal business ventures. But now, with Dalton dead and Laura conveniently positioned as a target, Sidwell saw his chance for revenge. The recent public spectacle, where Dalton had loudly accused young Rocco Falconeri of destroying his university laboratory, had already painted the professor as unhinged and dangerous. Even more damaging to Laura's reputation was the viral moment when she publicly slapped Dalton across the face in front of dozens of witnesses, an act of maternal fury that, while understandable, made her look capable of violence. Sidwell's plan crystallized instantly. He would plant Dalton's corpse in Laura's car trunk, then arrange for it to be discovered under circumstances that would make her look undeniably guilty. The mayor would be arrested, disgraced, and removed from office, while Sidwell could swoop in to fill the power vacuum she left behind. It was, in his twisted mind, the perfect solution that would eliminate multiple problems simultaneously while sending a clear message to anyone who dared oppose his criminal empire. Sonny's desperate cover-up operation. When Sunny Corinthos discovered what Sidwell had done, planting incriminating evidence in the mayor's vehicle, he knew immediate action was required to prevent a catastrophic miscarriage of justice. Without hesitation, Sonny contacted his most trusted operative, Jason Morgan, the one person whose loyalty and efficiency were beyond question. Jason moved with surgical precision, arriving at the scene under cover of darkness to extract Dalton's body from Laura's trunk and transport it to a location where it would never be found. Every fingerprint was meticulously wiped away, every fiber of evidence carefully removed, every trace of blood scrubbed clean until the car's interior was immaculate. Sonny reassured Laura with absolute confidence that without a body, there could be no murder investigation, no prosecution, no conviction. The old mob saying held true: no body, no crime. But even as he spoke those reassuring words, Sonny understood the dangerous reality they now faced. The Port Charles Police Department might not find physical evidence, but they would certainly have questions when a prominent university professor suddenly vanished without a trace. Laura stood beside him, her mayoral composure cracking slightly as the weight of the situation pressed down on both of them. They had both independently reached the same conclusion about who was behind this elaborate frame-up attempt. Sidwell's fingerprints were all over this operation, metaphorically if not literally, and both Sonny and Laura knew this was far from over. The silent witness who knows too much. Meanwhile, Britt Westburn carries the heavy burden of terrible knowledge that she dare not share with anyone, not even those closest to her. Every time she closes her eyes, she sees Professor Dalton falling to the floor, hears the sickening sounds of violence, feels the same paralyzing fear that gripped her in that awful moment. Sidwell has made it abundantly clear, through both explicit threats and menacing implications, that speaking about what she witnessed would result in dire consequences, not just for herself, but for everyone she loves. Britt understands the reach of Sidwell's criminal organization, knows that his capacity for violence extends far beyond a single murder in a living room. She walks through Port Charles General Hospital every day, treating patients, attending meetings, maintaining her professional facade while a terrible secret eats away at her from the inside. She sees Laura at public events and wants desperately to tell her the truth, to free the mayor from suspicion. But the words stick in her throat every time. The fear is simply too overwhelming, too paralyzing. Britt knows that in Port Charles, witnesses who speak up against powerful criminals have a disturbing tendency to meet unfortunate ends. She's already witnessed one murder. She has no desire to become the victim of the next one. So she remains silent, trapped between her conscience and her survival instinct, knowing that her testimony could solve everything but potentially cost her everything as well. The investigation begins and suspicions multiply. Nathan West's arrival at the scene that fateful night remains shrouded in mystery and speculation that continues to fuel gossip throughout the Port Charles Police Department. Was it simply coincidence that the detective happened upon Laura's disabled vehicle on that particular stretch of road at that particular time? Or was there something more calculated at play? Perhaps a tip from someone with knowledge of Sidwell's scheme. The flat tire that stranded Laura's car had been no accident. Forensic analysis would later reveal clear evidence of deliberate sabotage. A nail carefully positioned to puncture the tire at just the right moment. Nathan had arrived with his police-issue flashlight and professional demeanor, ready to offer assistance to a stranded motorist. But what he didn't find was the body that should have been waiting in the trunk. Sonny had already arrived minutes earlier, moving with the kind of speed and efficiency that comes from decades of operating in the criminal underworld. The mob boss had played the role of helpful citizen perfectly, offering Laura roadside assistance while Jason worked quickly in the shadows to eliminate all evidence. Nathan suspected something wasn't quite right about the scene, but without concrete evidence, he could only file a routine report and move on. Now, as whispers of Dalton's disappearance begin circulating through Port Charles, both Sonny and Laura find themselves in an increasingly uncomfortable position. They both had powerful motives to want Dalton dead after his vicious attack on young Rocco, framing the teenager for laboratory vandalism that the boy never committed. Any competent investigator would immediately identify them as prime suspects, and the Port Charles Police Department, despite being stretched dangerously thin across multiple investigations, would certainly take notice of such obvious persons of interest. Multiple crises overwhelm Port Charles law enforcement. The Port Charles Police Department finds itself drowning in a perfect storm of high-profile cases that would challenge even a fully staffed force operating at peak efficiency. With the mysterious disappearance of Professor Henry Dalton now adding to their mounting caseload, the already overwhelmed detectives must somehow divide their attention between three major investigations simultaneously. The brutal murder of Judge Eva Heron sent shockwaves through the legal community, with speculation running rampant about whether her death was connected to one of the countless cases she presided over during her distinguished career on the bench. The attempted murder of Drew Kane raised even more disturbing questions about organized crime activities in Port Charles, particularly given Drew's complicated history with various criminal enterprises and his connections to some of the city's most powerful families. Now, with Dalton missing and strong evidence suggesting foul play, the department faces an impossible task of solving three complex cases with insufficient personnel, inadequate resources, and mounting political pressure from all sides. Detectives work double shifts, surviving on coffee and adrenaline, knowing that any of these cases could explode into a major scandal at any moment. The media circles like vultures, demanding answers that the police simply cannot yet provide. Community leaders express outrage at the violence plaguing their city, while criminal defense attorneys prepare for what promises to be sensational trials once arrests are finally made. Political warfare and calls for Laura's removal. Ezra Boyle, still bitter and resentful over his crushing defeat in the mayoral election, sees Dalton's disappearance as the perfect weapon to destroy Laura Collins' political career and potentially overturn the election results. The former candidate has launched an aggressive public relations campaign, appearing on local news programs and holding press conferences where he levels increasingly serious accusations against the sitting mayor. Boyle pounds his fist on podiums and speaks with righteous indignation about corruption at the highest levels of Port Charles government, painting a picture of a mayor who eliminated a problematic witness to protect her family. His legal team has filed formal petitions demanding that Laura's electoral victory be vacated immediately, arguing that someone under investigation for murder cannot legitimately hold public office. Boyle carefully frames his arguments in constitutional language, speaking about the integrity of democratic institutions and the public's right to ethical leadership. But everyone knows his real motivation is simple revenge and political ambition. His supporters, already convinced that the election was somehow stolen, embrace these conspiracy theories with enthusiasm, organizing protests outside City Hall and demanding Laura's immediate resignation. The mayor's defenders push back hard, accusing Boyle of exploiting a missing person case for cheap political points. But the damage to Laura's reputation continues to accumulate with each passing day and each new inflammatory headline. Behind closed doors, political operatives from both camps wage fierce battles, trading accusations and threatening legal action while the citizens of Port Charles watch their government descend into chaos. The district attorney's impossible decision. Acting District Attorney Justine Turner finds herself positioned at the center of the most difficult professional and personal crisis of her entire legal career. The calls for her removal grow louder every day, with critics pointing to her well-documented friendship with Sonny Corinthos as proof that she cannot possibly handle this case with the impartiality and objectivity that justice demands. Legal ethics experts debate whether Turner should recuse herself entirely, while political opponents sharpen their knives, sensing an opportunity to remove her from office before she can make any decisions at all. Turner sits in her office late at night, surrounded by case files and legal precedents, knowing that whatever decision she makes will define her legacy and potentially destroy her career. If she follows her head and the letter of the law, she must acknowledge that both Laura and Sonny had clear motives to want Dalton dead, and without a body or concrete evidence pointing to Sidwell, they remain the most obvious suspects. Issuing arrest warrants would demonstrate her commitment to equal justice regardless of personal relationships, but it would also potentially destroy to people she believes are innocent while allowing the real killer to escape accountability. If she follows her heart and her instincts, refusing to prosecute based on circumstantial evidence and political pressure, she risks being accused of corruption, favoritism, and obstruction of justice. Her career would be over, her reputation permanently stained, and every case she ever prosecuted would be questioned and potentially appealed. The clock ticks down as pressure mounts from all directions. The police commissioner wants answers, the city council demands action, and the media circus grows more frenzied with each passing hour. Turner knows she must decide soon whether to follow the evidence wherever it leads, even if it means arresting a sitting mayor and the city's most powerful crime boss, or to stand firm on her principles and refuse to bow to political pressure regardless of the personal and professional consequences that will inevitably follow.